Hit record. I will explain where the energy from this one came from. So, all week I was really getting some clarity on what's been happening, I guess, over this last eclipse, that last eclipse portals that we've been having, and then we had 22 11 22, like November 22nd 22 numerology. Like, no matter what you study, there's these huge shifts and portals that have been happening, and I think a lot of people have been noticing it on a collective level. And because we are all frequency and energy, what's been happening on this collective level is because so many people are ascending and in the heart space and doing a lot of this work. It's really affected people on a collective level and on a collective frequency. So the frequency is actually rising on the level of Earth. There's particular people that measure frequencies even of the Earth, and the Earth has operated at a frequency that's been quite low in fear and anger, like in those lower, like 20, 30, 40 type frequencies. And it's actually rising to over 100, where we get into acceptance around 125 or so. And so the Earth even being at this frequency is something that hasn't happened for like decades and decades. And so we're all kind of feeling this energy, and there's been a lot that's been going around, like the shifts that people are making, big career shifts, big relationship shifts, big life shifts, moving, like it's been major things. And if people are doing this work, they're like, really having these huge profound shifts. But even if they're not doing this work, people are having these profound shifts, but they don't understand why. Like, they're just like, even my husband, who doesn't pay attention to anything I do or know anything about the moon cycles, he had like this epiphany about work the other day. He's like, I don't know if this is what I meant to do. And I'm like, it's the new moon right now. He's like, oh God, really? Like, you're gonna give me that? But it's on a collective level. So you'll probably notice other people around you going through just these big things. Like, they're just done kind of taking the cards that they were dealt, per se, and are starting to kind of take control of their lives. And this particular new moon, what makes it so lucky, and the reason that I was calling it the lucky new moon um, portal or new moon meditation, even for this evening, is a few things. One, we've moved from Scorpio season into Sagittarius season. And with Sagittarian season, it's a very different feel than the Scorpio season was. Scorpio season was all about picking at the wounds and those old childhood things that were coming up, and things from literally 18 years ago, from like 2004. We were going through a serious repeat cycle in that last portal that we went through. So it was kind of giving us a bit of a redo from about 18 years ago. And so we had this opportunity to kind of pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and make different decisions. And this point in time where we're shifting from Scorpio into Sagittarian, it gives us this lightness, this adventure, this break, if you will, in all of the trudgery that we've sort of been through. It's like on Wednesday, when we had the new moon, Jupiter actually shifted. Jupiter's been in retrograde since like March, and Jupiter is the planet that sort of governs our our self-worth, our true nature and purpose, our, what am I here for? What am I meant to do? So we kind of had all these lessons popping up and all this muck to kind of walk through to get to the point where we are now, where all of a sudden Jupiter shifted direct again. So it's not in retrograde anymore. It's not hard for us to see our true nature and purpose anymore. It's like a lighter version. This light came on when this planet sort of went direct again. And people were actually saying to me on Wednesday, like, I just felt better today. Like, it didn't feel so heavy, like it actually, I even felt it big time. I woke up that day and I was just like, oh, that feels better. Like someone's not stepping on your head anymore, trying to hold you underwater almost. This time, the Sagittarian shift is like we've been hanging onto a cliff, and finally someone's reaching out a hand that we can just grab onto and just pull ourselves up. It's like no more hanging on that cliff, no more surviving. We can actually thrive now. And the luckiness comes with that lightness, that vision, that being able to see, but also it's literally the way everything kind of lined up planetarily, and depending on your star sign, your sun signs, all this kind of stuff, it can be luckier for some than others. But this is the luckiest kind of time of year when the things that we have been manifesting really have that cosmic help to just sort of come through to that frequency that you've been emanating at, but can finally sort of be felt universally. It's like the foot came off and the light just glowed. So all these things that we've been kind of finally manifesting, finally, moving towards, are actually showing up.
I
Does
have
that
a quick question on the new moon and full moon and even the sun sign, right? Like
Yeah.
my question going into, like you said, Sagittarius, but the new moon reflects differently. What is it, like 6 months out from the sun sign typically?
It does.
Or
That's exactly right. Yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly how it is. And
so I'm confused on how the Sagittarian new moon can be present during it while it's also in the sun sign.
I think the exact way that they look at it depends on whether you're going by Mayan or Egyptian. There's about three different ways to actually read.
Mm,
Go by the degrees. So they go by the exact measurement and the tines and the quarters, and they sort of combine it all to make it in the house of Sagittarius. So for if you were a Sagittarius, what you would do is you can actually even Google and look up where is Sagittarius in my sun sign or in my moon sign.
mhm.
What'll happen is it'll be in different houses. So for some people, say if you are a Sagittarius and this moon is in your 11th house, then that's going to have to do more with relationships and things like that. Or if it's in your second house, it'll have to do more with jobs. It has to do with where it actually sits in your particular house. So they have every November, it kind of moves into Sagittarius. So it goes kind of with
Oh,
the
very
signs
cool.
that are going on right
I
now.
noticed that they were both
Yeah,
in November, the end of November. I was
exactly.
like, just
Exactly.
one of those wonder moments because
Right?
I
So they
I
go
love
by
astrology,
the
but I,
general,
still
right?
trying to coordinate that. Thank you for
Totally.
clearing that up.
Yeah, so it'll literally move each month. So, and then yeah, next month we'll be moving again, right? And the new moons are sort of like when the sun and the moon are literally next to each other, so you're not going to see the reflection. Whereas with a full moon, you see that full light reflection. So it's the full moons are more like purging and getting rid of, and the new moons are more like the manifesting in the building. And the other really cool thing that you guys might find interesting that you can Google is where you were born according to the moon cycle. So the day that you were born, you can look up moon cycle on July 18th, whatever your birth date is, and it'll tell you the exact moon cycle that you were born under. And that's something else that will influence you. In fact, people that are born under a new moon or under the waning moon when it's just starting or when it's just finishing will be different than people on a full wax moon. So if you were born under a new moon, you're generally really like new moons. You're attracted to that new moon energy. You feel better in that time. Your manifestations come through a lot easier for a new moon. Whereas if you were born under a full moon, you tend to be attracted to full moons, and that tends to kind of be your thing. So it's interesting to look at where you were actually born because that does have a big effect on things too, believe it or not. It's kind of wild. I only learned that in the last couple of years that was a bit of a trend for people that if they were born under a new moon, they really resonated with the new moon and they were more prone to do things like new moon rituals and stuff like that. So the other cool thing about this new moon is that In the Sagittarian new moon, it is all about the lower body, the legs, the hips, the pelvis, the feet. So, for doing a new moon ritual around now, and again, even tonight and into tomorrow, this is a good thing that you can do. It doesn't have to be right on the new moon. It's generally 3 days before and 3 days after that the moon energy is the strongest. So, what you can do is actually do a bit of a walking meditation with this ritual, with this manifestation writing. So, there's some journal prompts that I really like using for a new moon, just really looking at what it is that you want to create in life and actually writing those things down. Um, some of them, I do have some journal prompts written down because I like to try and um, give you guys some prompts. Did I bring out my notes that I would actually need for them? I believe. Oh, yeah, I did too. Okay, so some fun journaling prompts that you can use when you are doing a full moon ritual, per se. And what I do is I write these things down. One of the things that I do is, especially for this one, this particular one, we're going to have fun with creating Christmas morning. So, whether it's actually Christmas morning or whether it just feels like Christmas morning, I want us to think about a month ahead. And what we do is we make up a list, kind of like Santa's already brought it for us, and we have already manifested it. And so you write yourself out a list of about 5 to 10 different things that you want to be grateful for, that you want to be thankful for, that you actually can manifest the fact that you already have them. So we write prompts like, I am so grateful that that extra $5,000 showed up. Or I am so grateful that I got that garden tower for Christmas. Or I am just so grateful that my family is beautifully healthy this season. I am so grateful that my family's getting together. This moon is all about familial healings, familial misunderstandings kind of clearing out and coming to a point where things that were kind of a little bit wobbly are straightening out a little bit. So we can be grateful that our family is getting together. I'm grateful that my brother Bob showed up and I haven't seen him in 3 years. We're going to write down 5 to 10 things that you can actually imagine happening at Christmas. You don't have to know how, why, where, any of those things. You can even say, I'm so grateful that I stuck to my goals and I lost 10 pounds, or it can be absolutely anything. It can be, I'm so grateful I found my keys. If you've lost something, whatever it is, we write it down as though it's already happened. And then we carry this list with us. We go on a walk. The walking is what kind of sets it in. So it's if the weather's not great, even if you walk on a treadmill, obviously getting out into nature is the absolute best, and being able to spend a little bit of time actually really focusing on that list while you're writing or while you're walking. You want to really bring that list up in your head. You want to read it, you want to notice it on the paper, you want to feel it, you want to keep it in your pocket while your legs are moving, and just have this experience with it, almost like a walking meditation. And then take that paper. I love throwing it under my pillowcase or in my pillowcase even. I've got a bunch of rocks I put in with it. I do all sorts of stuff with my crystals. I've always got crystals and rocks and stuff laid about the house, and I have my little lists of manifestations, and I do really like to keep that under my pillow. I like to keep it right until the full moon. And you can just kind of hang on to that list and keep kind of looking at it and feeling grateful every time you end up reading through it. It's a nice way to be able to do a little bit of a new moon ritual. Sometimes they give you guys, candles and all sorts of stuff. I have to tell you something really funny. When we did the portal meditation, I had us light a candle, and you're supposed to leave the candle burn until it totally, was basically just a nub. And then you go and return that candle to the earth. And I had so much going on through that portal. It was the 1111 portal, I believe we did that for. I had my candle burning in the back, and it started to get so hot, and it was such an intense burn in the candle. The candle holder cracked, and the wax was leaking all over the place. And I was like, what is this saying about about everything? Like, usually the candle, it'll kind of tell you something. It'll, if you do a candle ceremony, you can light two candles. If you're having a relationship thing with someone and you want to kind of heal it, you can light both candles together, and you put a little string in between the two, and they, whatever way it melts. And so you look at the candle and you kind of analyze it. And I just had to laugh, and I'm like, my candle like blew up and exploded, and I had to actually rush off the call so that I didn't light my house on fire. That's that's how my portal went in November. It's been quite a month of just working through stuff and moving through stuff. So you can read as much into it as you want, but it is a lot of fun to be able to do these little rituals when we have this beautiful energy that's supporting us and moving us through. So a lot of the things about this moon were really about taking a pause, really about kind of slowing it down for just a moment, is pushing that stop button, almost as if you were watching a movie and you just literally put it on pause to just kind of recalibrate, to really know what it is that you want, to really sort of take those few breaths, about not reacting and virtually taking that breath and responding. And so I love, Jesse, that you were on that silence retreat, to be able to actually go inside, because we do distract ourselves a lot with a lot of stuff. And these huge transitions that have been happening over the last little while are taking a little bit of absorption and recalibration. So this is truly the time where this last month is very powerful. Again, we go into a solstice coming up on the 21st of December. So we kind of have these next few weeks to really get grounded, really get clear, and really get focused on what it is that we want to truly manifest over the next few weeks or a month. And the beautiful thing is that we're going to have the clarity of Jupiter. That's right, 12, 21, 22. Another huge, these ones and twos are insane. And if you know a little bit about numerology, it's all about new beginnings. It's all about resetting. It's all about getting this chance to really jump into our intuition and our divine power. And so that's why, for people that are sort of doing this work, that are asking those questions, it's so hugely powerful, because it's literally like this light that's being shone for us to be able to see our path, to see our way, when before it has felt a little bit cloudy, or it felt like we didn't know if we were on the right path. This is really like almost like a light coming down on the path to just truly show us where to walk. So in our meditation tonight, we will just be taking a few minutes to get grounded with our true wants and desires, with our true manifestations, the things that we really want to allow some light to be shed on. And in that space, it's a beautiful way to almost be able to watch the movie of our lives in a way that we may not have been able to see before, just because of the heaviness, just because of the retrogrades, just because of all this stuff going on. So it's kind of cool to just sort of go with the cosmic energy. It just makes life so much easier. And after literally 4 months of being in retrograde, it was hard for a lot of people to see their true path, to see their true desires, to even know if they even wanted anything. I probably heard more over the last few months than ever before. And I don't even really know what I want, like, it's just, I mean, I know I want something more, but I don't really know what it is I want, because so many of us had that foot on the head for so long that we didn't even realize that there was another way. So this is a profound and a beautiful time to be able to really just allow the superconscious to kind of show us all the things that will make life just that much more powerful and that much more better. And again, on a collective level, because what we do and what we feel and what we vibrate at on a daily basis really affects the rest of the world, in that we aren't going to bring our gifts if we're feeling that, that foot on the head a lot, right? We're going to end up keeping ourselves from being able to really propel forward. I'm just reading the comments very quickly. I love that. Yeah, you do talk to yourself a lot. The conversation is pretty amazing. Love is inside of us. Oh, I love that. Kind of got being able to get the living a life I love, or knowing what I wanted, just to be able to create it just because I love it. Isn't that true? We always say, you got to know what you want, but not because you want something, just because you love it. And it's like, well, how do you do that exactly? It's not the easiest thing to just figure out. How do you know? And I think even people that are on a really sure path, I think even them, every once in a while, we have these questions like, is this really what I'm meant for? And over the last 4 months, I think we've questioned ourselves a lot, and had to be able to get it, had to be in silence to be able to talk to yourself even. Yeah. I have conversations in my head all the time, and depending on who I'm listening to and what I'm listening to, it goes in accents too. For the longest time, my when I first started doing Chris's work, the voice in my head was an Australian, it had this sort of Kiwi accent to it. When I watched Outlander for a while, it had a Scottish it was going on in the back of my head all the time. I'm a very audio clairvoyant person, so the voices are real, but not everybody operates that way. For some others, it's just the knowing, or it's the feeling, or it's the seeing. And it's been cool over the last few months noticing some of the people that I've been coaching, especially, are coming into their different clairs, we call them, where they're just like, they're able to see colors all of a sudden, or see energies. All these things are finally kind of coming about, and all of these gifts are coming towards the people that have been really doing this work. It's really, really nice. Isn't that amazing how we did know, and then the last few months, it's really about questioning everything about your end results. Absolutely. And those end results are kind of ever shifting, I find too. Those end results, we think we've got it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got it, I don't got it. And I think that's part of it too. If we ever think we've really got it, we definitely don't got it, because we're always learning, we're always shifting, and we're always changing, right? I love that. Thank you, Cynthia. I'm glad to hear that. And you know what, that's a lot of times, I feel like that's what I really enjoyed sort of sharing with these meditations and with these evenings of just like this cosmic update kind of thing, because there's so much that goes on when we understand that a lot of other people are kind of going through that same thing, and even people that don't even know this work are literally having these huge shifts and these cosmic upgrades. It can be a little overwhelming, and it can be a lot some days to just kind of be in that manifestation mode all the time, always working on yourself. And it's sometimes good to step back and take a little break, even if we're doing courses and stuff like that all the time. Sometimes we just need a day or two of actually taking that break and taking that sort of reset. It can end up being quite profound. And then when you're called, you end up hearing something that just kind of resonates and just makes it easier to smash through a little bit more, right? So right now, people are feeling a little bit more optimistic. We're starting to feel a little bit more adventurous, starting to feel a little bit more lighthearted, starting to feel a little bit more clear. And the Sagittarian rule is kind of neat as well. It brings in the horse energy. You guys probably know the emblem for the Sagittarius is the centaur. It's like the half horse, half man. And so horse energy comes in huge. So if you have an opportunity to be around horses, if you love horses, it helps the heart expand. Their heart centers are 3 times bigger than their bodies. It can go just huge, where ours tends to not be quite as large. That energy that we feel from them is really healing for the heart. But the bow and arrow is actually the most profound thing about the Sagittarian, because it's like finally you can actually receive with the bow and actually propel and manifest with the actual arrow. So this is a chance where we get to actually line up our arrows to where we're wanting to point them. And if we can get into receiving mode, if we can get into that breathe, respond, and shoot it off where it wants to go to, this is where we can actually be so direct, where we're not just kind of splattering energy around and hoping that something will stick. It's like very precise, very clear. And this is why we're in the meditation. We're going to allow a few minutes to just really get clear on some of those things that we've been wanting to calibrate to. And the luckiness for some is not so much the monetary or the material or the physical things, but it comes with the intuition and the daily things that will start happening once we listen to our intuition. So this light, this everything that's happening right now is to enable us to be able to tap into our intuition even further. Absolutely, chariot and horsepower, like, it kind of gives us that gumption, that get up and go. We have that energy again. All of a sudden, we're not dragging a piano behind our ass. We're actually just able to kind of fly and just run like a horse, So we think of that energy just moving forwards, just being um, clean and clear and pristine, and just embracing that horse energy. So it's kind of cool. Um, they almost liken this season to, we have switching from Scorpio to Sag is when we've taken a lot of these layers away. We often refer in the healing world to like layers of an onion. Well, this is like the layers are unpeeled, or like I mentioned a couple weeks ago in my meditation, the contractionary period before birth, when everything is kind of contracted. This is the birth. So the birth kind of happened at that 1111 portal. And now we're like growing fresh babies that get to sort of start toddling around the earth again in this beautiful way, in a brand new way, almost like a brand new energy. So this is the energy that we can kind of embrace. And you'll probably notice yourself laughing and smiling a little bit more, and maybe even noticing other people laughing and smiling a little more. Some senses of humors will start coming back out. We'll be a little bit more curious and a little bit more nurturing. We will just have this kind of feel about us, almost like a newborn baby. A Sagittarius new moon can have some negative aspects where our disorganization will come up as a bit of a head, because anything that is kind of in disarray will be bothering us a little bit more. If it's things that don't usually bother you as far as being disorganized, you can kind of let it go. It's like, no, I need this time to like really clean my office, or really get this organized, or really, like, that disorganization will trigger you a little bit. So this will be a time to be able to kind of power through that, because you'll feel a little bit lighter, so you'll want everything to kind of be lighter. But you may find yourself being a little bit picky, or even a bit impatient, or perhaps even unfocused. And this is where we get to really kind of dial back into that horse energy and get focused, like blinders on. So this is where we get to kind of put our blinders on. We get to really focus on what it is that we want, and we're going to have that energy behind us, just kind of pushing us and propelling us forward. So I always feel like I have so much that I want to end up sharing, but I feel like just getting right into a meditation with you guys before it gets too late, so that we can just allow our energy centers to balance out a little bit. And I really love bringing the breath into the realm of the meditation, because it connects our bodies and our spirits and our souls. And that embodiment, that pure embodiment of being able to get connected, even just connecting with your body for a few minutes every day. If you can, before you're even out of bed in the morning, just kind of think about the little list that you're going to make tonight after we're done the meditation, just writing out those things that you're going to be really grateful and appreciative for in that tense, as you already have it on your list. And even if you can only think of, five things, or I'm just grateful for this particular food dish on Christmas Day, we're going to have some fun with pretending that we're literally in that anticipation of Christmas morning, and all of these things that you already wanted have come true. So we are going to go to a place where we're going to get a little Christmassy here, only for the fact that I would really like to bring in some fire, bring in some beautiful nature, some trees and things like that. So I'd like you for just a moment to take your hands, and you can just sort of put them in prayer position just in front of your heart, or you can even put them right on top of your heart, just as we connect into our bodies. And then you can let your hands relax. If you end up just sitting is absolutely fine. If you want to lie down, that's fine too. Just getting a comfortable position where you can literally allow your body to relax as much as possible as we just go through this gentle meditation. So I enjoy taking breaths through the nose. If we're breathing through the nose, our body can actually utilize that nitrogen and oxygen. It actually separates it and allows our body to be oxygenated really, really purely. So I'm just going to have you taking some nice deep breaths in and out through your nose, and we're just going to keep it focused on nasal breathing. And I want you to just notice that breath as it comes in and out of your nose. Does it feel cool as it's going through your sinus? It's actually being warmed, being separated. That air is going into your lungs where you need it. And as you drop your hands onto your lap, you can just place them one on top of the other. Have your thumbs touching gently, but not intertwined, just touching gently. Keep breathing through the nose as you imagine that that air is going down through the lungs and into your diaphragm, in through your belly. And I want you to imagine that breath just starting to swirl around your body like a beautiful white light. And with every breath in, I want you to imagine that beautiful air expanding to each cell of your body as it moves through your chest and your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your hands. Filling up that upper body as it starts to move up through your throat, maybe even filling into your head. Imagine that swirling around of that white light as it just starts to expand and infuse into every single cell in your upper body. And I want you to imagine it now increasing in size in your belly and allowing that oxygen, all that beautiful light, to start moving through your lower body, moving through your abdomen, moving through your sacred womb, moving through your hips and your pelvis. This area is where the healing is really being instilled with this new moon energy. And just allowing your breath to move this light through your whole body as it moves down into your hips. Notice your pelvic floor muscles starting to just relax with every breath out. Noticing your bones that you're sitting on under your bum. Can you feel them on the chair or on the ground? And allow that air, that oxygen, that beautiful light to start moving down through your thighs and your knees. With every breath in, it's like it's filling every cell of your body down to your calves and your ankles. And allowing that white light to just wrap and go down through your feet. And through your feet, I want you to imagine it reaching down, feet below you, just branching out like little roots that are growing from out between your toes, beneath your feet, right down deep into Mother Earth, into the crystalline grids that have been opening and changing over the last month. As the ascension of the frequency of Earth itself is rising, and these new grids have been lit up. And imagining that your body is somewhat like a computer right now, that it can read these codes and these downloads from the earth in expanding every cell in your body into a healing, clearing and transmuting light of this last energy over the last month, and simply allowing the earth's energy to come through your body, through your feet, and move slowly up your body as it heals and regenerates every cell that needs it. As it recalibrates all your hormones and your lymph system, as it recalibrates your immune system, bringing it back to a state where it can function, where it's repairing. And I want you to imagine it almost being like a computer, like a radio antenna that's receiving all these beautiful codes, all these beautiful healing codes from the earth. As anything in your body, whether it's muscle, bone, soft tissue, nervous, all of the neurological system, the circulatory system, and I want you to imagine that you can hear and feel your heart beating in your body right now as it helps to pump all this energy, all of this light, and all of these crystalline cells through any area that needs it. And just notice any area of your body right now that is feeling those war wounds of the last month, of the last portal, those last traumas, those last wounds, those last band-aids that are ready to be removed, those wounds that are ready to be healed, to be massaged, to be infused with light and simply regenerated. If you're feeling any discomfort or pain in your body, please take your hand and put it on that area. And ask that area of your body what it is that it's trying to say to you right now. A lot of the familial stuff, a lot of those wishes that we've held on to, that we've packed down, are all in that lower back, that lower rib cage area, kidneys, adrenals, that whole torso, and just sending some light and some energy into there right now. If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to send a little energy work into some of those areas. There's just some tense spots, and so we're going to allow Earth's beautiful energy, Mother Earth's beautiful earth energy, to just come through our body and just crystallizing, reforming, transmuting, cleaning, and clearing anything in those energy systems that need it. And I want you to imagine right now that you can see a little, it's almost like an ultraviolet colored flame off in the distance. And imagine with your third eye that through that forehead, right between your eyebrows, if you were to look far enough, you could see this little violet light that's off in the distance. And I want you to imagine that it's starting to come a little bit closer. In your mind's eye, just envision this beautiful violet light off in the distance. And as you can envision this little flame, I want you to notice that you can walk towards it, that you can move towards it energetically, almost like drifting, almost like floating towards that flame. So it's just going to allow that third eye to open, and you might even notice there's a little pressure, a little funny feeling in that spot right between your eyebrows, a bit of a pressure or a heaviness as this third eye starts to open. And tuning back into your breath, I want you to bring your breath all the way up to that third eye. And imagine breathing through that third eye in and out of your nose. Imagine energy moving through that area. There we go. Now, this flame is allowing you to be able to see these beautiful movie pictures that have been playing in the back of your head about the things that are really important to you. And as you get closer to this light, I want you to imagine that you can take your bow and arrow, that maybe you are even a centaur. Imagine feeling the bottom of your body be horse-like. Imagine having this big, beautiful, solid body. There's nothing but muscle and hooves and energy to just carry you wherever you want to go. And I want you to imagine pulling back your receiving bow, all of the things that you've been imagining in these last, I would say, 6 months to a year, all of these things that have sort of been popping up. We're just going to allow whatever it is to be represented on an arrow. And you don't even need to know what it is, but I want you to imagine reaching back onto the little arrow case that you have over your shoulder. And I want you to imagine putting that arrow in your bow, being ready to receive, and being ready to shoot off this arrow through this beautiful purple flame. And as you do, it doesn't snuff it out. It makes a slight explosion, and you're able to see where your arrow lands. And just envision yourself pulling back this arrow now, and as it lands, I want you to imagine that it's posting a snapshot. You're literally shooting your arrow into a picture, into a movie screen, into a snapshot of time, where a month from now you can imagine actually having this. You don't know how it came about, but it's actually possible. And I want you to just notice as this arrow goes through the flame, it also expands this light so you can clearly see this picture. And I want you to imagine an arrow holding this picture up of you smiling and you being completely joyous and in gratitude. And I want you to just notice what's around you in that picture. Is it food? Is it a smell? Do you hear something? Do you hear someone? A picture that will be happening in about a month. It could just be being in the energy of someone. I want you to just imagine a snapshot. And as you envision that, doesn't matter what it is, I want you to just take a little note of what the first thing that dropped in on that picture for you to see. And now I want you to look back at the flame and think that was kind of fun. I think I've got this now. I think I'm ready for my next arrow. This is kind of like a lucky machine, almost a lucky computer, this flame that you're putting your arrows through, that you're putting your intentions through, that you're putting your filter away so that you can clearly see what's truly meant for you. Those things that just make you happy, those people that just make you happy. Perhaps it is even lots of money. Perhaps you're sitting there and you have money just all around you. Perhaps you were able to spoil someone a little bit more than you've been able to before. And perhaps you did something really kind and from the heart that meant way more than money ever would. Perhaps it's bringing someone into your life or into your house for just a day. Perhaps it's letting go of grudges. Perhaps it's forgiveness. And I want you to get ready and take that next arrow as this beautiful grounded centaur that you are, and draw back your receiving energy, showing the universe you are ready to receive anything that comes your way. And ask the superconscious now to help you out with this one in showing you this next snapshot. Maybe it's of your health or your fitness or your just where you want to be, those goals you've been wanting to smash for months and just couldn't manage to get the strength together to do it. What if you really committed to something for the next few months? I want you to just bring that arrow out of its casing and put it in its bow and get ready to shoot it right from the flame and watch that magic light spark up as it nails that photo to the wall. You're going to nail a photo, nail a little movie picture. With your next arrow, I want you to just imagine what that picture would look like in this light of the new moon. The darkness that comes with it, it allows us to see beyond the veils. It allows us to see the things that we've really, truly wanted, without anything holding us back, without anything or anyone telling us that we can't do it. And just imagine for a moment what's on that snapshot again. Who is around you? What are you doing? What are you wearing? How are you feeling? If I was to say to you, how are you? You'd be like, I am so good. I am so good. I am feeling so good. Whereas a couple weeks ago, it probably would have been, I'm not okay. I'm just not okay. Enjoy this beautiful light feeling, this floating, this hand out, this someone, maybe someone was always there, but we finally chose to receive it. Maybe we finally chose to receive that energy. And we're going to take our last arrow and we're going to extract it from our case. And this is getting kind of fun now. This is kind of a big one. This could be our true life's purpose, our true life's path. Those things we've kind of been drawn to, but maybe haven't even looked at for a long time. When you first started this work, what was it that you wanted? Who did you want to make an impact on? Why did you want to do this work? Why did you want to make these changes? And in receiving mode right now, I want you to feel Earth's energy pulsing through your body, feeling that strength of being a centaur, being so focused with blinders on, being really ready to make this a clear picture. I want you to take your magic arrow and shoot it through the magic flame and watch where it lands. And allow the superconscious to show you all the ways right now that you could be living your true nature and purpose, those things that really make a difference for you, whether it's children, whether it's animals, whether it's just the energy that just makes you so happy and so free. I want you to think about, is it nature? Is it just being silent? Is it being out there as a beacon of light that's not for everyone, but certainly for anyone? Those people that so greatly need you, those people that drew you to this work in the first place when you thought, oh, I just want to help, I just want to do this. I know people could resonate with this. I know that if I even just make a difference in one person's life, that I can breathe with peace and ease and grace and feel so free. What about having that freedom in your life, having that time to not have to be doing what everyone expects you to, but doing everything that you want to, anything that you want to? Nothing is off the table here. Absolutely everything is at your fingertips. Knowing what you want, creating that in your mind right now. And as you come into your centaur body, I want you to feel what it would feel like to have hoofs on the ground, to be able to start walking like a horse with freedom. Perhaps joining other horses and just running free in the fields. What that feeling would be like, that gallop. And I want you to just imagine yourself actually galloping, whether it's along a beach, whether it's along a beautiful trail, whether it's just in a field. I want you to imagine what it would feel like to be a free, spirited animal like that right now. And taking some more nice deep breaths, I want you to now just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose as we ask the superconscious to show us all the ways that we can make a difference on a collective. I want you to ask the superconscious to show you all the ways that you can create this life where you are truly healthy and vital, where you're truly taking care of yourself, where you're truly putting yourself first, and seeing the effect that it has on the rest of the world, on the collective, and how selfless it is to keep yourself grounded so that you can be this solid anchor for friends, for family. When people start gossiping this season, you can just literally allow it to just stop in your presence, being that free, loving, accepting spirit that you are, staying in that frequency, grounding that frequency into a complete calibration, into a North Star for yourself, calibrating to the frequency of gratitude and love. And I want you to feel excited right now about Christmas morning, about all the things. And ask the superconscious for help. Ask your spirit guides for help. Ask all of our ascended masters and all our animal spirits to just help to show us those things that we want to be opening up like gifts on Christmas morning and appreciating. Noticing that they've all come in the last month. I want you to actually imagine it coming. That $10,000 coming to you. Perhaps there's ways, perhaps there's people that have owed you. Money's just going to be falling out of the sky. Checks may be showing up, a grant, a person that wants to invest with you. You're in this receiving mode now. It's able to find you. These people, these things, they're able to finally find you on this vibration. Being so grateful for it already coming, being so grateful for having the people you do have around you, those people that you chose to be around you. That feeling that you have with your health, with your vitality, with your self-care, with your honoring of yourself. I want you to see it clearly, honoring yourself, making those choices and sticking to them for yourself. No one else is going to do it. And allow yourself to envision writing these things down on a paper. What are those next few things? Those, whether it's something big, whether it's something small. What is something that you could do this week to get there? In just a short month from now, in exactly 4 weeks, you could be opening these beautiful gifts of appreciation and gratitude. And envision it right now, that anticipation of Christmas morning being all for you. All of these things coming to fruition as though you already have them. Allowing your body to just release any of those things that need to be let go of at this point. Those things that aren't serving anymore, some of those things that have come back up in the last month, to truly show you what you are ready to let go of. Cutting all of those cords to those past energies that may have been draining us, not allowing us to move forward. Any of those times, those spirits, those events that we might have literally been giving straws to people to suck our energy from, and just noticing all of those falling away. That cup is so solid now, nothing can poke through. Clearing away any negative energies, any jealousy, and allowing any forgiveness in our hearts to just move through. Grounding us through our energy centers, through that familial root chakra. All of those things from past and present timelines, all of those things that we've held on to as truths. The truths are now coming into this light, into this beautiful violet light behind your third eye for you to see the real truths. Nothing was as it seemed over the last month, but now we know the clarity is coming through. And ask the superconscious to just aid you in showing you the path of your true nature and purpose, that real reason. That you embarked upon this journey in the first place. Just living in love, sharing this love. The world needs so much of this love and this truth and this energy right now. We're going to move up through that sacral plexus and the solar plexus where all our wishes and desires have been held on for so long. We tucked them so far into our wombs where they could just be carried forever, noticing now that it is time for this birth. It is time to let go of these past stories so that the light can come through and move us towards exactly what we want. And moving up into the heart chakra, just expanding, and I want you to bring your breath into that heart. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, I want you to imagine it escaping from every cell of your body, every small particle of your heart chakra just expanding, bigger than the horses, bigger than the house that you're in, bigger than your community. With every breath out, I want you to imagine that that breath just gets further and farther into the universe, into the sky, into Father Sky, into those stars that are so lit up by that moon that is being hidden by the sun right now, and just allowing those stars and that Father Star energy to expand your consciousness further than the galaxies, further than the sky. And just imagining that expansion right now as you bring yourself back to your own body, allowing your throat chakra to be cleaned, purified, balanced, allowing the third eye and the crown to expand that light. And breathing in through the nose, and as you breathe out of every pore of your body, your skull, your hair. I want it to all feel that breath just expanding from it as you breathe out into the collective, breathing your love, breathing your appreciation, and feeling it come back to you. Feeling that magnetism, like you have just been completely recoded by this new moon energy, this new moon light. Feeling the stars' energy just light up every single cell of your body like a baseball field at night, just starting to glow. And feeling that glow start to spread to the rest of the world with every single breath out. It's like you're fanning the light and it's just getting brighter and brighter with every breath. And when you're ready, you can bring your hands back up to your heart. Get in touch with your body again. And enjoy that 5D expansiveness in our 3D bodies. And knowing that our highest timeline is just lit up in all the stars. And every time we go outside, we can just embrace that energy and even do a little stargazing. Look for some of those signs in the sky. Notice the shooting stars that tend to happen on a new moon. It's so beautiful. And just taking a couple deep breaths. You can come on back. And I'd love to prompt you to do a little writing, doing a little bit of your journaling for your Christmas morning, those things that you wanted to manifest. And noticing those things that you're ready to leave behind, some of those things, some of those, I just feel like some of that stuff that we're just ready to leave behind. Think about what we can get excited about. How fun would it be to get up every morning in anticipation that Christmas is just 25, 24 days away, 23 days away as the days go on. Thinking of the things you want brought into your life, whether it's rocks and crystals, whether it's vegetables you can grow inside, whether it's this is real stuff. This isn't just looking through a catalog anymore. This is what do you really want in your life? Allowing that energy to move through and allowing yourself to get excited about it every day, waking up like, I wonder what could be in store for me today. If we woke up that way every single day and took just a minute to even ask the superconscious, show me all the ways that life can be so beautiful today. Show me all the ways I can expand my energy into the universe for the greatest good today. Show me all the ways that today can be the best day that I've ever had. It's really hard to have a crappy day when you start your day off like that. And even if we're still in that state, between theta, beta, alpha, where you're kind of moving through consciousness in a real, beautiful manifesting way. And think about how exciting it would be to really keep working towards that for a month or two. Sometimes that motivation, that procrastination can get kind of knocked out of the water. The motivation can take over a little bit more when we really can get excited every day about it. It's a matter of choosing, right? And we do our lenses, we do our choices every day, but there are days where we can kind of forget, and there are days that it's like losing light. It's like losing that, we've lost that day, then we can't get that back. Time is our most precious commodity. And if we're going to be spending it anyways, why not be manifesting the crap out of it, just even in emotions. And I feel like spreading joy, spreading love, spreading groundedness affects way more people than spreading money around. It's not when we say lucky, it's not about the literal sense of, having that quantum energy in our actual bank account. It's about the amount that we can spread around the world, the amount that we can spread around our family, our community, just by our reactions and by our respondings. We can have big effects on people. It can be pretty huge. So I am so grateful for you guys being here tonight. I do encourage you to do some writing, pack that paper in your pocket and go for a little walk with it. Let that energy move through. I was really called to do some energy work there. I felt a lot of stuff kind of moving in and around that low back. It was like middle of spine to sort of into pelvis. So if you're noticing any tender spots, any spots that are cramping or doing anything weird on you, give it some energy. Just hold on to it. Put your hands on that area so that you can actually allow it to move through, because we don't want to pack it back down. It's coming up to be seen right now. It's coming up to be felt. And if we can encourage that by asking ourselves, what is it I'm feeling right now? Even if it's an emotion that comes up, if you take a minute and just ask yourself, what is this all about? Why am I feeling this right now? This is that light that we can shine on that particular issue, area, emotion, whatever it is, so that we don't just continue to pack it down so it can resurface again. Give it that love, give it that energy, that acknowledgement that it needs, and you'll get those answers. They're coming in very clear right now. So even if it didn't work for you before, I encourage you to try it now. With Pluto moving forward, or Jupiter moving forward, we can actually see our true nature and purpose a lot clearer. And so that energy will just flow so much easier for us over the next little while. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. It's been so nice having your energy here. I just love you guys so much. I'm so grateful to be able to do this Friday nights. I look forward to so much. Um, it's a blessing to be able to be here and to have you guys uh, want to be a part of it. It just makes my day, my week, my month, my year. And I am going to stop recording.